What if I told you that one of the most, mundane weekly errands could actually be the most important science class your baby ever takes? Well, today we're going to turn the grocery store into an absolutely incredible learning lab for your infant. I get it. You probably see aisles of food, a super long to-do list, maybe even a fussy toddler in tow. But behind all that everyday chaos, every single texture, color, and shape is a potential experiment just waiting for your baby's developing mind. So to see how this all works in the real world, we're going to follow Nicole and her 9-month-old daughter, Layla. They're about to turn a simple shopping trip into a total masterclass in early STEM learning, and they don't even realize it. Our first stop is the produce aisle. Now, Nicole thinks of herself as a pro at picking the perfect fruit. But what she doesn't know is that her simple routine is actually teaching Layla the fundamentals of science. I mean, think about it. How do you pick a pineapple? You're actually using the scientific method. Nicole observes the pineapple's color and its tough, prickly skin. Then she makes a prediction, right? Based on her experience, it seems ripe. She tests her theory, smelling for that sweet scent and pressing it for just the right amount of firmness. And finally, she reaches her conclusion. It's the one that's a perfect scientific inquiry, just disguised as picking out some fruit. This is so much more than just a shopping hack by talking about what she's thinking and sensing out loud. Nicole is teaching Layla a fundamental skill, how to use her senses to explore, to question, and to understand the world all around her. But why is this simple act of just, feeling a pineapple so important for a baby's brain? Well, to really understand the developmental science at play here, we spoke with Dr. Yvette Meir-Cook, who's an expert in early childhood STEM learning. So Dr. Meir-Cook explains that babies are far from being blank slates. They're actually born with what she calls precursor math skills. It's this natural, hardwired ability to notice and explore that builds the foundation for all future learning. Pretty cool, right? So what does that actually look like in real life? Well, infants are just naturally drawn to patterns and contrasts, like the huge difference between a smooth lemon and a really bumpy pineapple. They instinctively use their hands to figure out how things feel, and they are super attuned to any change. This is exactly why that sensory exploration in the grocery store is so powerful. Of course, every little scientist is different. Not all children react to sensory input in the same way. And understanding your child's unique needs is absolutely key to making this a positive, fun experience for everyone. For a child who's maybe a little more sensitive or over-responsive, Dr. Meir-Cook suggests a more gradual approach. Start with smooth textures like an apple before introducing something prickly like a pineapple. On the flip side, an under-responsive child might need more input. So giving them highly contrasting items like that smooth apple and prickly pineapple at the same time can give them that richer sensory experience they're looking for. Since your baby can't just tell you what they're thinking, you kind of have to become an expert observer. Now, get this. Here's a stunning fact. Verbal communication, it only makes up about 6% of our total communication. The rest, it's all nonverbal. So how can you spot a curious scientist in action? You've got to look for those nonverbal cues. Dr. Meir-Cook points to things like a sudden stillness in their behavior. You might see them positioning their body just to get a better look or even getting right down to an object's level. These are all signs of a brain that's hard at work, just observing and learning everything. All right, let's head back to the store. Nicole and Layla are at the checkout line and a whole new scientific challenge is popping up. Packing the groceries. This takes us from simple textures to a much more complex skill. We are talking about spatial reasoning. It's a really critical math skill that's all about understanding how different shapes and sizes can fit together. I mean, think of it like a game of real-life Tetris. It's about picturing solutions to physical puzzles. Puzzle. And this. This is where it all comes together. While Nicole is trying to figure out how to pack these yogurt cups, Layla does something amazing. She just starts stacking them one right on top of the other, and suddenly they all fit perfectly. That right there is spatial reasoning in action. A genuine aha moment of scientific discovery. So the big takeaway here is that you don't need a fancy lab or a bunch of expensive toys. Your everyday world is just this incredibly rich learning environment. Okay, let's break this all down into a simple toolkit you can use. On your next trip out, just try these 4 things. First, narrate the senses. Talk about what you see, what you feel, and what you smell. Second, Compare sizes using simple words like big and small. Third, let them feel the difference between a heavy can and a light box of crackers. And fourth turn packing into a fun puzzle to build up that crucial spatial reasoning. By seeing the world through your child's eyes, every single errand becomes a new opportunity for discovery. These small, shared moments of exploration, they're the building blocks of a lifelong love of learning. Which leaves us with one final question. What everyday lab will you and your little scientist explore next?